We've been talking about time. I have a question. Does anybody really know what time it is? You know, a band back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and they're still touring. They were just at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame not too long ago, was Chicago. And the band Chicago is one of my absolute all-time favorites. And they sang a song that every time it came on, in fact, as a crazy high school kid, we would jump out of the car, me and my three other buddies, and we would dance around with the stereo turned loud no matter where we're at, and running around the car dancing to this one song that was called "Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is?" And we just liked the rhythm. We liked the excitement of the energy that was in the song. As we got a little older, and we listened to the songs. In fact, I ran the lyrics up today just to kind of remind me of the details. It goes through some series of very strong questions, especially in this series that we've been doing on redeeming your time. And the question, again, posing it the way you really listen to the writer of the lyrics of this song is very interesting, especially even today, maybe 40 years later. I'm reading them and saying, you know, I don't think I heard that back then. I don't think I perceived that back then. I don't think that's how I was understanding the words that the writer was poetically and musically sharing. Does anybody really know what time it is? And he says throughout the process that we really don't. We're running everywhere. He says we're running everywhere. We're doing everything. We're so busy. Nobody's got time. And he goes through all of these scenarios that we're living today. We're living today, way, 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 many years after that particular song was written, played, hit record, and everything else. Well, how does that tie back today with our redeeming your time? Here's the scripture. Let me take you to it because it's really, I think, going to help you and I really get a real grip on what time it really is. In 2 Corinthians chapter 6, starting in verse 1, it says, as God's co-workers, I really hope that's you and I, we urge you not to receive God's grace in vain. Now, we want to take this and unpack it today because it's a very important element to understand what time it is. For he says, God says, in the time of my favor, I heard you. And in the day of salvation, I helped you. I tell you, now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation. Wow. You know, the day of salvation can be a point in time. It can be all the time. How many times do you need to be saved from a circumstance, a situation, a element of problem? How many times do you need that salvation? And it says in the beginning, don't take this in vain. Don't take his grace in vain. Well, then what time is it? What time is it? Today. Today is the time to appreciate God's creation. Today is the day to appreciate your wife, your son, your daughter, your husband, your boss, your employees, your customers, your fellow students, whoever it might be. It's today to take the time to go out and look at the beauty of creation. Appreciate a beautiful day, rainy snow or sunshine. Today. That's the time it is. That's why in Ecclesiastes 3, Solomon says, there's a time for everything. There's even a time to die. But while there's time, whatever is in your and my hourglass that no one knows what time it is for your life, it's time. It's time today to take the time and appreciate the gifts of God, appreciate the grace of God, appreciate the things you already received, because we spend so much time on what we're trying to get, trying to achieve, or what we don't have and complaining about it, or whatever it might be that we're going through in the process of using our time and wasting it. You want to redeem your time? Take today. Today is the day to truly take the time and just cherish each minute. Cherish each sand grain that runs through your hourglass today. Enjoy the day. enjoy the moments, no matter what you're doing, no matter what the circumstances. If you're in a hospital right now, in a hospital bed, find something to rejoice in. Find something to give thanks for. Find something in this time that you do have, and you will redeem your time incredibly. Enjoy this. I hope this touches you as much as it did me. And then go to your Pandora and maybe listen to Chicago's Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is? Have a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good time enjoying God's grace.